I gotta admit something, and this is about my love and hate relationship with productivity. I mean, in the past few years, I could have learned a few new languages, I could have started new businesses, joined new professions and stuff, but all I did was just consume productivity self-help content. Yes, I am that nerd that people meme about. In the last few years, I really don't have anything to show for it except the bookmarks folder, which has some 500 something productivity videos. I can literally show you my Google Keep history. I mean, that was a notes app that I used to use at that point of time, and it is filled with hundreds of productivity videos which accounted for absolutely no action, by the way. Like 5 years. Let that sink in. 5 years of my life where I was thinking that I'm investing in myself and I'm making progress and I'm, learning these new skills that are gonna help me achieve my dreams, but I was actually moving backwards. I consumed, as I said, thousands of hours of productivity content from creators like Ali Abdaal, Thomas Frank, Matt D'Avella, you name it. I mean, I still admire these guys, but I was just consuming their content and not taking action. At some point, I had system for systems, the perfect note-taking system, the most aesthetically color-coded calendar, and whatever you can think of. And the most shocking part is, all of it felt so good. I mean, I felt that I'm making progress, I'm learning these new skills, I'm becoming better and more efficient than other people who are just grinding it and not planning anything, because planning is king, and once you plan, your execution becomes much easier. But I was just so wrong. And so, if you've ever felt the same way, I've got some evidence on why this actually happens and how I got out of this consumption loop. Today, I'm gonna dive into this research. So, let's get started. So what did these wasted 5 years actually look like? Let me paint a picture for you guys. I remember one specific day where I spent 4 hours organizing my resources and setting up my perfect note-taking system. And as I mentioned, this was my favorite pastime hobby, to color code my calendars for some reason. I was sort of categorizing YouTube videos, taking notes on these new mental models that were coming up, and the whole time I was feeling as if, I'm just setting myself up for so much success. Meanwhile, the actual work after being inspired by these systems was not being done. It was feeling extremely good. It was feeling as if I'm motivated, I'm inspired, I'm making the progress without making progress. Every time I saved a self-improvement or a productivity video, there was this instant hit of satisfaction, like I was actually accomplishing something. That feeling right there was what cost me so many years of my life. And when I finally realized what is actually happening, I went down the rabbit hole to research why this happens in the first place. It turns out there's a ton of research on this, and I have shortlisted this research paper from the University of Chicago where they explain the exact thing that was happening to me. It turns out our brains cannot actually tell the difference between planning to do something and actually doing it. When you watch a productivity video, when you watch this self-help video like this one that you're watching right now, your brain releases the exact same reward chemicals as it does when you actually do the work. So the brain really cannot comprehend if you're planning to do the work or that we're actually doing it. And a fancy word for it in research is called the goal substitution theory. Every time you consume content, your brain goes, great, we're making progress, keep on doing that. And so you keep on over planning and you do not take that damn action. And the dopamine hit that you get is enough to satisfy us, which furthermore prevents us from taking the action. And so you get satisfied even when you haven't done anything. This is not a willpower problem. This is not even a discipline problem. You are not lazy. This is literally how our brains are wired. We have evolved in environments where planning was rewarded because planning was followed by immediate action, and that helped us escape jungle or escape that fire, and we were alive and we were able to live well. But now we live in a world where we can actually plan forever without ever executing. But the hard truth is that world rewards execution, the world rewards action and not planning. Sure, planning makes the execution easier, but if planning is the only thing that you're doing, you're digging yourself a really deep hole. So as I mentioned, your brain is just doing what it is supposed to do. It is just the newer world that we live in. It doesn't support that system. So after so many years of being lost, what did I actually do? How did I break free of it? There's this person called Peter Golwitzer, sorry if I didn't pronounce his name correctly, who has found a solution for what actually works. It is called implementation intentions. And I actually didn't know this term. I was just, blocking off my calendar and just doing stuff when it was supposed to do, just following my calendar commitments, and things started getting done. For sure, now we have an evidence-based term for it. Great. So this is the difference I'm talking about, and this is what saved me. Most people make vague plans like, I'm gonna exercise more, or I'm gonna do that side project when I have time. But your brain does not know when to do that. By the virtue of you just saying that you're gonna do it, your brain for the most part thinks that the work is actually done. So you end up in the planning mode and you overplan and you keep on planning because you keep on getting that dopamine hit, or you are in this analysis paralysis because you wanted to do something but you don't know how you have to do it or when you have to do it, and you end in this analysis paralysis and you procrastinate. You get the reward hit from thinking about what you'll do instead of actually doing it. Implementation intentions work completely different. Instead of saying, I'll exercise more, you can say, after I brush my teeth every day at 7 a.m., I'm gonna do 10 push-ups every single day on my bed, or beside my bed, whatever. Or instead of saying, I'll work on that side project whenever I have time, you say, every Tuesday evening from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., I'm gonna sit in my favorite coffee shop and code for 3 hours and ship that new feature on my app because that's really important to me, and I am free on Tuesday evenings, so I'm gonna block that time on my calendar and I'm gonna just do it. So what you're giving your brain is specific situation and specific action. No overthinking required, no decision fatigue in that moment. And a famous analogy that I like to think about is the plane, the pilot, and the engineer. So every night when I plan my day, I'm the pilot. I can steer where I'm going, what projects I need to take up tomorrow, which tasks I need to complete. I decide on the tasks and then I slot them onto my calendar. Each task has a specific duration and a specific start time. And when the next day comes, I am just the plane. I'm just following the pilot's instructions. I'm just following my calendar. I give each task the time and the location and the duration as I mentioned, and all I'm doing is just executing the tasks. That's it. And actually, I joke around with my friends and family saying that if something is not on my calendar, that is not happening. And for the most part, it is true. And here is why it works. I'm hijacking my brain's planning system, redirecting it towards action rather than more planning. So rather than getting the dopamine hit or the blast from planning, I get the reward and satisfaction only after I have executed that plan, executed that time block that was on my calendar. The only thing that I need to remember and talk myself into all day is just follow that damn calendar. Nothing else. And obviously there are things that pop up and I have to adjust my schedule, but that does not mean that I'm not following my calendar. I'm changing my schedule and I'm doing those things. And if I'm doing a lot of rescheduling for 2-3 days, I know something is wrong and I stick to some routine and I need to get those damn things done. The key is being stupidly specific. Not I'll eat healthier, but something like when I feel hungry, I'm gonna eat the apple on the kitchen counter rather than that tasty snack or something. And this, my friends, got me out of the consumption loop. It is stupidly simple as I mentioned, but it is dramatically effective. I actually began building things that matter. Although I am a big believer of productivity app, I'm a productivity nerd as people call in the memes on the internet, and I myself use a lot of productivity apps. A free, simple Google Calendar is all you need to be productive in your life. All the other things are just an add-on. So that was all about how I lost it so many years of my life and how I came out of it, and now you know the trick, so don't be me. So if you have reached this point of the video, if you have not clicked off at the halfway mark, I want you to do one thing. Pick up one thing that you want to do. Don't make it a goal. Obviously make it a goal, but break it down into projects and tasks. At the bottom of the pyramid, make it an implementation intention. It follows the template. If X thing happen, then I will do Y action for Z amount of time. This is the template. Or I'll do something at Z o'clock or something like that. Pick your goal, break it down into manageable projects, and within each project, break that project down into manageable tasks which can be done in a day. And then schedule those tasks onto a calendar. I don't do locations on the calendar because most of the deep work that I do is on my desk because it is well optimized for the type of work that I do, and more on that some other day. Once you have something on your calendar, just freaking do it. It'll change your life. It did mine. Okay, so if this helped you understand why you might be stuck in this advice consumption loop, hit that like button. I generally make content on AI, tech, entrepreneurship, and a bit of self-improvement. So if you vibe with any of these, please consider subscribing. As always, it means a lot. And drop a comment down below with one implementation intention you're gonna try this week. Because as we all know now, the goal isn't to consume more content and make our library of, thousands of videos that we have consumed and, take advice from, but don't take any action on. It is actually to build a life that we want. I know it sounds all cheesy, but all of this is true. So start taking action and stop planning. Cheers, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.